Alrighty, I just restarted the stream. There's nothing has gone on, quite honest. Double check for low latency. Yeah. Back here for low latency, so you should have pretty good. Now, if you're trying to trade off of this stream, that's going to be difficult because you're going to be 2 seconds behind, and sometimes 2 seconds will cost you 10 cents. Sometimes most of the time, that's when I'm selling half. All right, the analytic setting, low latency. Okay, everything's good. Excellent connection. Okay. Alrighty. Everything will be good. All right, let's try to get this. Ready. Get this going a little bit. It's 750. There's really nothing here. What are we looking at? SGD is the top gainer. Really nothing there. There's really nothing there. Today I'm gonna keep working on light speed. I'm gonna be getting away from interactive brokers. So the platform is gonna change. It's gonna be light speed. I'm gonna go with light speed. And that should be next week. Right now, I'm just doing the ACH transfers. And that's going to take a couple of days on Lightspeed side to get things set up. I need to deposit. I'm going to deposit like 27,000 in there just to have a 2,000 buffer. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to trade kind of small and build it up, and for a nice size buffer, and then start trading a little bit heavier. But in the beginning, it's going to be trading kind of lightly, making a little bit of money to build up 2K buffer up to a little bit more. Hopefully the SEC will reduce the PDT rule. They're thinking about it from 25,000 down to 2,000. That would be fantastic. That will bring a lot of liquidity into the market for day trading. SGD, it's not really moving. So SGD, I'm gonna have to look at that code for SGD for the ATR-1. I might just leave the ATR just there. Because it doesn't show up on everything. It's only, I'm having it so where it only shows up, like Archon, it's showing up. Archon should be Yeah, I think it's doing to the current for the high, low. I need to check the code for that. Archon's not moving. Archon yesterday was a good play. Go back to SGD. Take a look at SPY, see what that's doing. SPY's not really doing much. As you can see here, the past few days, we just kind of down a little bit. We could break down to this area. Could break down into this area right up in here. It would be really nice if we could get down in here. That would be really good. Reason for that is so I can throw some more money in the IRA account. Not throw more money, but actually buy some more blue chips. I make some swing trades on that. SGD's got 41,000. Volume is slowly picking up, but still there's really not much there. SGD. SGD. That's the wrong one. Need the NASDAQ. Another thing with Interactive Brokers, their platform is their platform's nice. I mainly would stick with them if it wasn't for that Section 144 rule. SGD's only got a 2-cent, 3-cent average true range, so that just means on the 1 minute it's not moving, and if you look at it, it's not moving for the past 14 periods. The average true range is just nothing there. It's probably because of the FOMC meeting today. We're not getting anything. I think I hear the kid. The kid is up. E-Lab with the MGG holding terminates focus on acquiring high growth manufacturing companies serving aerospace defense. It's not much. I'm breaking these top press releases, right? Oh, like right down in here. This it scans, the code will scan the title and pick out certain ones like patent. I think that's one. Next generation might be one. But it picks out phase one. That's definitely one. But it just picks it out and SGD is not doing anything. It just picks it out for top press releases. But whatever shows up here is whatever is the recent for that stock. That's why sometimes you'll see multiple ones. Ooh, look at that. 8 o'clock. The algos kicking in. The algos were kicking in. Volume was SGD, yeah. Says it has 1 million volume. We got Archon moving. We got EGLC, DLC, 400,000 volume. You might want to keep an eye out on that. EGLC, but it doesn't have EGLC. It just doesn't have any news. There's no catalyst for that, so I just don't know what's going on with that. EGLC is a change of 51%. So when pre-market movers gets updated, that should be on the top there. There we go. BGLC is the third one. You can see here it's going a little crazy right there. These are actual orders that are coming in that's being printed right there. SBGLC. All these other ones are not really nothing's there. I mean, you got IVF. You have IVF, but yeah, there's nothing there. ATNF. That was traded earlier this week, I think, or last week, but BGLC. Looks like BGLC is the top gainer. You might want to keep an eye out on that. BGLC. Go. Got in on the break of that 680. You're at 7. Hopefully you took a little bit of money there. 680 is 7, definitely. 681, 702. You could have gotten 20 cents, a real 20-cent scalp out of that pretty quickly. Good thing is this is moving up. Definitely got volume. Only thing concerning is this volume right here for the selling. That's why if you got in at 680, you got yourself $7. Take some money off, then you put a mental stop at the break even, and then you just get out, because now look at it. It could bounce off the non-EMA. ENF, I wouldn't even worry about that. BGLC definitely got movement. It didn't really come down to the non-EMA. The only thing is that it's kind of consolidating right now. I mean, ATR is 94 cents, but that's because of the huge spike up here. BGLC, that's a huge spike. We touched the non-EMA. If you got in on that play on the touch of the non-EMA at 613, you definitely got a decent trade. You can be, I'd be looking to sell a little bit. You got some wicks right here. That's a little concerning. See, a touch of the EMA is good area. Touch of the non-EMA is a good area. Let's say 620, and then it ran up here $7 again. $627. That's 80 cents right there. We got the BGLC. The ATR was like 98 cents, close to $1. You got like 80 cents on that. 80-cent move on that, but it's really consolidating, not moving. If we can break like 7.5, you definitely get some notice on that. BGLC really doesn't have a catalyst. There's no news that I know of. No. Yeah. It was just quick spike on volume, getting some quick trades, but that's about it on BGLC. I mean, the ATR said 98-cent ATR when it popped up. Could have gotten in at 6 or stops down at 5. That's like $1 stop. You're using ATR stops, and then you're looking for $1. So you would be looking for 7, which you kind of got it, but yeah. Right now it's just kind of moving up, and then it's kind of putting in a bull flag right there. BGLC volume kind of slowly drying up on that bull flag pullback, which is pretty nice. Looking at the $7 mark, keep an eye on the level 2 over here. $7 break, you want to see large orders there, which you're not really seeing. Get up there. Just jumping all around. IMNN with news. Got a breakup 7, which really can't hold it. That's telling me might not be all that good. I'm going to announce this first patient dosed in phase 3 study, IMN. BGLC, you want to keep on watch. IMNN. That's really not moving. We'll go back to BGLC. That is the top gainer. You got in down here at 6. You definitely got a dollar move. It's running up. That would have been a nice entry right down to the touch of the 9 EMA. That would have been good. That volume coming in. Then we have some selling volume starting to come in. ATR is starting to roll over. Means the move is getting tighter, consolidating. BGLC is still there. BGLC is breaking the 9 EMA. Kind of wick down below it up here as well. But you want to see aggressive. When it gets down to the 9 EMA, you want to see aggressive buying. And you're not seeing that. Yeah. Looks like that is over. So really, we had it show up on the scanner on this spike right here, and then it showed up right up in here. Then what we had was the non-EMA, and we had a touch of the non-EMA like around 608. Then it kind of ran up here about 678. So yeah, you easily got yourself 50 cents. I mean, the spread on it now is like 2, 4, 5 cents. Yeah, 6-cent spread. So the spread's pretty decent for a nice little move like that. Sometimes it's like a 50-cent spread on stuff like this. Sometimes the spread's so high you can't even really trade it. I wouldn't. You get like a 30-cent spread in, and you're trying to get like a 50-cent, 75-cent move. That's not worth it, in my opinion. Because if you're wrong, you get stopped out, you get slaughtered. So it broke down below the non-EMA, so I just kind of sit on my hands. Really can't get in. That had like 300,000 volume. That'd been a nice volume if it wasn't. I mean, where would you put your stop if you got in right here? Got in right here on the touch of non-EMA. The ATR was at 98 cents. Right now, the ATR is at 75 cents. Okay. But right up in here, it was at 98 cents. Let's say a dollar. Let's just round it up to a dollar. Where would your stop be if you got in at 606? It would be like 510. It would be like down in this area right here. Down in this area, that's like a dollar stop. So if you only want to risk $100 on a trade, you can go about 100 shares. So then you kind of popped up and you got yourself a dollar. That's a 1-for-1 right there. Good thing on this pullback right here, you got the volume kind of drying up. And you have the volume on that move on this one kind of higher than the previous one. Not much. BGLC, got news on BGLC. 8 o'clock. BioNexus Gen Lab Corp and Diagnostic announces Landmark Alliance touted as a new deep seek moment in precision. So but they're not really picking it up. Not picking it up and moving with it. Got in on that pullback right there. Break of that. Inside doji bar 645 ran up to 660. Scalp a little bit, and then you can, as soon as it came down to right here, you want to protect your capital. Spread's decent. We got 5 million volume traded. BGLC. Not going to show up on the scanner here on the top press releases because what was in the title really wasn't all that phenomenal. I think that trade is basically over. On the 5-minute, kind of getting some wicks down, and looks like you're putting in a 5-minute full flag, so it could keep running. Got a break of this, but you got to look at the volume. Volume is picking up a little bit. Break of 673. But what's concerning is it broke the $7 mark, but it really couldn't go and get to 7.5. So because yeah, they're just kind of pushing it down, keeping it down. So that's why I'd be kind of leery about it. BGLC, if you read the news, there's really not much there. Talking about Landmark Alliance touted, yeah. So it's not like a top press release breaking news thing, but it is news. So it's something, they're just not running with it. It's a top gainer. Surprised they haven't ran with it. I'll be right back. I'm going to get more coffee. But the thing is, you really have to be careful because they could break to 7 and go to 7.5 real quickly, and then all of a sudden just run with it. Look what I just said. Look what I just said. They're taking it off. I went to get some coffee and they broke that bad boy. This is why you really have to keep an eye on it when they start breaking like that. When you look at the 7, you need to be looking at the level 2. And when you get some large volume coming in, get a break of that high. This right here, that was a high of 742. So once you start looking to seeing getting into 742, when you see volume coming in and the level 2 right here, and it's really picking up, yeah, that's when you can just jump in. Like on the break, let's say you got in on the break of 750 and then it ran up to 8. I mean, you got yourself 50-cent spike. It spiked up, you could get yourself 50 cents and then move on. 50 cents on like 1,000 shares, like a $500 day. For some traders, they would be done for the day on one trade, just like that, for just a few seconds. Bam. Yeah. I like the light speed level 2 a lot better because they have it's kind of like a time and sales on the right side. Really doesn't put the time on there, but it puts the last and then I think the last price and the size traded. So it kind of, it's right there on the side of it, so you can kind of look at it and when you see green coming in close to like a whole dollar mark, half-dollar mark. It's really nice to be able to see that. The BLC is putting in another flag, it looks like, and it's holding a 7.5. It could probably pull down to 7. But if you look right here, a run right here, you look at the volume right there, kind of mid, and then we kind of broke the volume. Go. What I'm going to do is on that, had a run up. You had a flag right here, a bull flag. Get in on the break of the high of that candle when you have a bull flag because it didn't trade below. It's holding the non-EMA. Get in on the break of that right there, and you put your stop right down here. So your stop could be right down in there, which that's a pretty tight stop. 768 to 737. That's like a 30-cent stop. And let's say you got in at 775, got up to 8.25. You want to. The main thing is when you get this, when you get these spikes, when you break that high right there, when you break 766, when you break 767, you want to look at the level 2, and you don't really want to be trading off of the chart. You want to get your eyes onto the level 2. So when you break 766, 767, when you see 767, you got 67 there, you get that break, you can jump in. You know your stop is right here at 739. So if it starts trading down below and there's volume coming in close to 739, 740, you can go ahead and cut your losses. You really don't need to be trading off the chart. You can trade off the level 2. And you got 67, 767, you get a spike up to like $8. You can start to sell like half, sell a quarter, sell half. You can do that because you can see the orders that are sitting in there. Also, if you have a level 2 that's like beside the level 2, like I'm going to have on Lightspeed, you can do that. And you see big, huge green buy orders coming in. I want to think of this as like driving a car. Your level 2 is you looking out the front windshield. Over here in the chart, that's like your side view mirrors. See, you know, what's to the side of you. This is like your side view mirror, and your level 2 is like the front windshield. You look out the front windshield, and from time to time you glance over to your side view mirrors. We had a pull up and we bounced off the 9 EMA 755, and if you play the bounces off the 9 EMA, BGLC has an ATR of 50 cents, so your stop would be down like around 757. You want to get like 807. You want to try to get up here to get a 1-to-1, which you kind of bounced off and you're kind of stalling out. So what I would be looking to do is sell like a quarter, take a little bit of profit. I think what I'm going to do is just keep the ATR just automatically on there, and not, because right now it only shows up when the 5-minute is making higher highs, higher lows. Right now we got ANIK. ANIK, that's not really showing any. The ATR is, go back to BGC. DLC. A Lightspeed platform is extremely fast. I like looking at it. I mean, you can just be on the chart and you just run through tickers, and it just it's like an instant shows with the candles and all the. It's just pretty instant. You're not going to see it because it's a 2-second delay when I start streaming with Lightspeed, but download their demo platform. It doesn't cost anything. Try out their demo. I'm going to be putting together a video of how I configure Lightspeed to trade with. Right now we're starting with kind of broke the $8 mark. I would be in the ATR is kind of moving down. Really right here on the Lightspeed charting, I'm not even going to have the ATR because I'm going to have it like right here. Right here This column is going to be the ATR, right by the price. So that way you kind of know for the past 14 minutes. I mean, you can look at it. If you're looking at like BGLC, you can look to see it was like dollar ATR, then it's 75, then it's 50. You know, it's kind of tightening up, kind of consolidating. That's what we're doing here. If you look like right here, this area right here, this area right here, and no, ATR was high and it was climbing, which was nice, and then kind of dwindled off. Had some consolidation right there. Right now it's just flatlining. As you can see right here, it's just around 50 cents. So the move is not widening. And you look at the 5 minute, the 5 minutes telling you, 5 minutes telling you it's making lower highs, lower lows, which is not good. It could come down here, this area right here, bounce off the 9 EMA. We don't know. But most of the time with these low floaters, right now I don't even know what the float is. It's saying 0, so we couldn't really get anything from the SEC filings for the float. But that's a little concerning. Mainly what you're looking for is you're looking for this move right here and trying to get yourself the money on right here. That was a little hard to play though because all those wicks. This move right here, you get a break of 7 and you got a nice spike. Easily get yourself like 50 cents right there, 75 cents. Then we had a pullback right here. Get in right there. Put your stop down here. Get a little spike and make a little bit of money. And then you just move on. You don't keep triple dipping all this. Get about 2 trades and move on. Don't push your luck. And also, if you are pushing your luck and you're trading with like 1,000 shares, you might want to cut that in half so you don't give money back. If you're wrong and you get stopped out, you're not like a full stop. Your first trade, you can make your first trade go in kind of light, get yourself a buffer. Second trade, go in a little bit heavier, you get yourself some. And then if you want to keep playing it and you got yourself a nice profit, just don't go in all full tilt on it and give everything back. SGD is really not doing anything. The SGD is nothing. You'll see, I believe that is done for. So it looks like they picked a BGLC. This area was hard to play because of all of these wicks right here. When you're coming down, you got a touch of non-EMA. Those wicks are kind of hard to play, and your stop was like $1 stop. So you have to go in kind of light. Get yourself a little bit of buffer. This trade broke at like 18, like 819. right up in here. So 745 was the break of the high right there. The high was 742, 745, 742. Got all the way up there to 812. So that was a nice 50 cent move. Could have gotten in a little bit earlier, maybe put a starter at 693, break 7. Got a nice little profit. And once you broke the high right there, add to it, and then get that pop, and you want to immediately get those pops immediately. Start looking, get out. So if you look at the 5-minute, we kind of hit the 5-minute non-EMA, bounced off of it a little bit below the session VWAP. Break the session VWAP and get up to maybe 7.25 might be good. PO is not SGBX. BX is just huge quick. EPRO showed up earlier. It's not doing anything. There's nothing. SGBX 200,000 SGBX. Yeah. I mean, you had a big, huge spike and had sell off, which it gives you a huge wick forming on the 5-minute. When you see this, a big spike like this, and you sell off below half of that bar, half that spike, that's something a little concerning. And look at the volume. Volume was high, which is not what you want to see. Got here. ACFN. SGBX. SGBX had some volume, but downside. Right, monitoring global solutions for backward power Q2 earnings call. That's really nothing. What I am looking to do, which would be a good idea, what I'm looking to do, we've got here, let's go back to BGLC because that was the biggest play. I mean, the play's over, but it showed up on the RVOL scanner right here, this RVOL scanner. It searches for relative volume, and we had like pretty large relative volume, so we waited for it. We had some wicks up here, which is a little concerning, but we had a touch of the non-EMA, and we had a touch of the non-EMA, which you do a small starter position. You got yourself a little spike. Get you a little profit right there. Your first trade of the day, what I like to do is I don't go in all heavy. If you're trading with 1,000 shares, go in with like 250, 500. When you do that, you're building up your profit target. You're building up your profit. So then this trade right up in here, we broke this and we had high volume. You could done a starter of like 500, and when we broke the high, you can add to it and then another 500 and get your 1,000. We got easily a 50-cent move on that. You can just get maybe sell half or sell completely out. You always want to sell into these pops. You can sell into the pops, and the thing about it, you can always get back in. We had a pop and we had a bull flag. You can always get back in. On that bull flag, like right here, you have taken money off because you had a nice pop, take it all off. And then once we pulled back, you can get on the break of that high and your stop would be down here. And then we had that break and you're looking at the level 2 to see orders, where are they sitting at. And also you can read the tape. When I switch over to light speed, there's going to be a nice tape right beside the level 2. And then you get this pop, and guess what? You can make another 25 cent easily right there. And then maybe sell half and then put your stop right there to break even. You want to sell into these pops, and then once we start coming down to like right here, once we start stalling out, you can just kind of sell the rest of it. That is what you want to do. Really want to be selling into these pops. Your first trade, I like to do my first trade as small to build up some little profit, because if you're wrong, if you go in all full tilt and you're wrong, you got a full stop out. Now that mentally kind of screws you up. But if you got a small little buffer, small little win, that's great. And then this right here, you can go in like maybe a quarter of your position or half, and then once it broke that high, you get in the other half and you're in your full position, and your cost average is down here. So that's how you really want to play this. This weekend, I'm going to put the trading plan up on the site. And this right here, this ATR, I'm going to have the ATR. Right now it's showing up for certain stocks, but the ATR, I'm going to have that showing up continuously for all of them. But now remember, at 2:30, we got the FOMC meeting, so sit on your hands. Let's look at, bring up Financial Juice right here. We bring up financialjuice.com. Let's bring up financialjuice.com. Bring this over here. Financial Juice right here. Breaking USUDP 20Q advanced actual 3% forecast 2.6 previous. Okay. I have U.S. Treasury QRA, GDP advance. Okay, at 8:30. Already done. At 10:30, we have crude oil inventories. At 10:30, we have press conference with, yeah, that's nothing. 1 o'clock, Trump signs congressional bill. Okay, but here's the biggest one. 2 o'clock, U.S. interest rate decision. This is huge. Close that out. At 2 o'clock, U.S. interest rate. Press releases. This is big. If you are not an experienced trader, do not try and trade around between 2 and 3, basically. Just sit on your hands. There's no reason to clobber your account. FOMC rate statement at 2 o'clock. FOMC press conference with Jerome Powell at 2:30. That's probably why we're not seeing very much. One decent trade, and that's about it. So I'm pretty much done for the day trading. Nice little decent trade, and then move on. We have FOMC late this afternoon. Just sit on my hands. Now I'm switching over to Lightspeed. I talked with Interactive Brokers about Rule 144. And that's basically an SEC rule. Let's say there's a million outstanding shares. You can only, and if you have like 1%, which is like 10,000 shares, uh, what Interactive Brokers will do is when you have that 1% of a position in a company, you can't sell. I mean, if you're an affiliate, they just kind of lock you down. And what Interactive Broker does is I talked to the guy and he says their system, their computer system looks to see if you're holding 1% of a position of outstanding shares, not the float, but the outstanding shares. And let's say the outstanding shares is 1 million and you're holding 10,000. Well, let's say it's $1 stock or a $2 stock. That's $10,000, $20,000. I mean, there are people trading with that. So it could lock you into the trade. And what the system does is that it will go through and then it will release you to be able to sell. But in the meantime, you could be down 50 cents. So that's why I'm switching over to Lightspeed. Yeah, so ATR right there is like 31 cents, and ATR right here, BGLC, is 32 cents. So the code is pretty accurate. Uh, but BGLC's already played. Like there was 8 o'clock news on IHL, but, and I'm assuming 8 o'clock because it got halted early morning. Now, normally you don't have volatility halt. Well, you don't have volatility halts in pre-market, but you can. A stock can be halted for news, and what they'll do is they'll halt it, and then they'll wait for the press release to come out, and then they'll spike it up, and then it jumps down. Just a regular pump and dump. BGLC has a little bit of volume coming in, 370,000, but the play is pretty much over. It's traded 16 million shares, and I'm pretty sure it could be a low floater. Take a look at what float. 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 If we type in BGLC, BGLC, yeah, it's saying Yahoo's saying 10 million float, Finviz is saying 8 million, so it's around 8 million float roughly. Wall Street Journal, dilution tracker. Yeah, so it's like 8 million float, and it's already traded 17, so it already round tripped once. Really, the only biggest trade we have. $850. Amazon partnership with Amazon, Whole Foods, Market Ally, and ability and impact reports. Have Amazon. BGLC is just grinding. It's ATR of 32. It definitely went down. Alrighty. There we go. Oh, is it going to go to 9? Had a nice little pop. It looks like they're going to try and run it again. There's PGLC ATR of 32. So you can also do this. You can look at the 5-minute right here. The 5-minute right here, you're making higher lows and higher highs right here. You're making higher lows, higher highs. So on this candle right here, when you get a dip down, when you break that high right there, when you break that high, you can put your stop right down in here. So you can put your stop right down here, and when you get that break, you can actually try to get a pop, sell a little bit, and put stop to break even. And if you did do that, so you get in a break of 760, you run up to 793, take a little bit of profit, and if it comes back down, you can always just go ahead and sell the rest of it for a break even. And then when you get this pop again, get a break of this high, or what you can do is, since it's sold off here, this candle right here, put your stop right there. We broke that candle right there, a slight break, and then we just kind of came back down, and then we broke again right here, and get yourself some more. And when you're looking at this, because it's making higher lows and higher highs, when you're doing that, you can come over here to the 1-minute. Let's see, you look at this at 755, so at 756, right around in here, get the break of that, and you make yourself a nice little move. And then kind of came back down. Get yourself maybe 25 cents, move to a break even. Then 755, it came back down to the break even. Then you can play the break of this 5-minute. Let's say you play the break of this 5-minute right here. Well, that's a high of 819. Get 819 is the break of this candle right here. Get to 820 and it ran up to 860. You get yourself about 25, 30 cents. Then yeah, that's why you can look at the 5-minute and see that, hey, it's moving up. The non-EMA is sloping upwards. That's good, making higher lows, higher highs, and then play off the 1-minute and then play it. So that's another way of playing a momentum trade. As you can see here, spiked up and we're pulling back a little bit. As you can see here, it's putting in a little tail right there. Take a look. see if they actually. Nine. No tester. Okay, looks like for that money out of there. Here. 7. The transfer from Interactive Brokers went through. I'm still waiting for brokers, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. So I'm just waiting. Light speed. What they do is they just deposit all pennies account, and then you kind of have to like go in and tell them that, hey, this is how much it will cost or something like that. But as soon as I get this ACH done, good. For here, there. All right. $11,000. I know Florida market will be opening up here shortly. micro transfer, didn't you? Okay. I can lower highs, lower lows right there. So that would probably be done for. Um, I was talking about is you can come in here, making higher highs, lower lows, get in on the break of this candle right here, which would be 755. So 756, you could get in and stop. And then, as you can see here, we did a slight pullback right there. About half of the candle. If you get a pullback real now, definitely if you break a lower low on the wick, you don't want to do that. But if it's just a slight pullback, what you can do is just get on the break of that high right there for a 5 minute, get yourself a quick scalp, and then switch over to the 1 minute. And that would be at 756. That would be roughly at 845. So at 845, right about here, 756, that would be the break of this right here. 755 right there would get the break of this right here. Get the break of that. Once it breaks that, we got a break, and we kind of pulled back a little bit. Then you got then you can scalp some off right up in here at 757, 790. Get yourself about 30-cent scalp real quick, and your entry's right here. Kind of pulled back a little bit, and then we kind of took off again. And you can try to play the break of this 753. Play the break of that and get yourself a quick scalp, because the momentum is definitely moving up on those three candles. You're getting in on the break of that previous candle high right there. Then your stop, and you look at the 1 minute. If you're getting in on this candle right here, your stop would be down here. So stop at like 7, looking for a 50-cent move, but you really moved up, take a little bit off, and then you kind of come back down, and then you kind of break this and kind of move up and take a little bit off. Can get a 1-for-1 trade right there. Let's see, this right here, this 5-minute right here would possibly be invalid, because broke that high, but that low right there, this low is definitely more than half that candle. So that's a little, uh, yeah. Plus, this is making higher highs, higher lows, but it's a red candle. So that's not what you see. This is what you want to see. You want to see the break of this, then that right there. Just another way of playing it. SGD of 28,000. There's not much there. It's got a 2-cent ATR, which is nothing. If we look at SGD, I can guarantee it's flatlined. Yeah, there's not much there. We've got SUPX. SUPX has got news. It looks like it moved. SUPX, I'm not really super deals for all new Super X, AI server powered by NVIDIA, blah, blah, blah. SUPX, that was at 6:30 a.m. And now it's starting to move. It's starting to move a little bit. We had a nice little pop right here. We had a pop up. It's kind of low volume. That's why it's just not good. We had low volume. We had low volume. We had a touch of the non-EMA. So we popped up and kind of touched the non-EMA. This could be an entry point right here, and then your stop could be like right down here. This is the low that it would break, because non-EMA, if it traded down here, it would definitely be breaking the non-EMA, and then you probably get yourself a scalp like right up in here. So you get in like at 2015, you can get out at 2015. That was like a dollar move, but no volume. That's the problem. No volume. I'm going to be looking at this right here. Look at that. I wouldn't be getting in this just because of this candle right here. That candle right there. That red candle. I wouldn't even think about getting in right here. SGD is coming in volume, but there's nothing there. SGD, you got ATR of 2 cents. DGLC is still moving. Break of 9, can hold the 9. So we broke this right here at 823. So that was this right here. So we broke it on this candle. Do the same thing as this. So we kind of pulled back slightly. See right there. Get in on the break of that candle right there. Your stop would be the low of that pullback right there. So we opened up a kind of slight pullback, and then we break. When we broke, if you break that low right there of this candle that was forming, you definitely want to be just cut to trade. But you got a quick scalp for like 50 cents. 25, 50 cents. You're not going to get the whole. As it's popping up, when it gets this high, probably sell half, and then as you can see here, moving down a little bit, maybe sell a quarter, hold it for maybe a possible runner if so. If not, make sure you get out at close to your break even. That's how it's played. IXHL had a pop. It was halted for news that was going to come out, and then 8:30, boom. That was a little hard to play. BGLC is the only one that they're really moving. I wouldn't even think about getting in volume on that one. The 1 minute is really high. Volume on that 1 minute. Look at that. Got a huge candle. We had rejection off the 9.5. I wouldn't even think about playing a 9 EMA bounce just because it's not good. Got the 5 minute with the wick right there because of this right here, this 1 minute. Yeah, we are sloping upwards, but that's could bounce back off. But let's see what happens. I wouldn't play it just because of this right here. That right there was nice. You could have gotten on a micro pullback. See what I'm saying? We had a run up here, and we had a micro pullback on these two candles right here. See a bull flag, you get in on the break of that. Get in on the break of that because the volume was kind of going down. So if you get in on the break of that, you look at the level 2. If orders or large orders coming in, get a nine break, go up to you get about a quarter, scalp it off. Got to look at the history. It's known to pop, pullback, pop, pullback, pop, slight pullback, pop, pullback. So we don't know. Is it going to come down to here? $8 mark? Possibly. That's why up here you want to scalp it off. Take your money. Get yourself about 25 cents. We didn't break this candle right here as we broke this. That low right there did not break the low of that pullback candle. That would be your stop right there, entry, and then stop. So that's 8.55 to like 8.90. That's a 40-cent stop. But yeah, you got yourself 1-for-1, but you're probably not going to get that whole move because you're holding it and you're getting this pop, and that's why I like selling 25-50% is get a nice pop because all of a sudden it just pulls back real quick. You're not going to get your full position out at a 1-for-1 when it's like that. And why hold for a two for one when you get a full stop out right here? It's kind of stupid. Just take your money and run. Take what the market will give you. You got to read the price action of it. Take what the market's going to give you. I'm going to take that ATR off just because I kind of looked at it. See, I like BGLC. It's a 38-cent ATR. It's kind of moving down though. Got Rocky RCKY. That's not doing anything. EPRO with news earlier at 7:15. We got NVV. I mean, NVVE is probably not moving. It's low volume, 63,000 is kind of low. At 62,000, you got 24,000. Yeah, so it's kind of low. It's really hard to do anything. Plus, you had a nice pop, had pull back more than half. There's nothing. That's NVEE. There is nothing there. SGD, there's nothing there as well. SGD. PSHG, HR of 6. There's nothing. PODC. There's no volume. SUPX. Whoops. PX. Okay, I mean, what was the volume on volume on that was 11,000. See, there's not enough volume. Got to bounce off the non-EMA, so we came down, missed the non-EMA, kind of bounced up to about right here. So I take off the non-EMA, let's say a 2040, 140 if lucky. I mean, you get in a couple thousand shares, but it's only trading like 9,000 volume, really. It's not a risk you want to take. Of not, but you don't want to go in large. I mean, 100 shares maybe, sure, but like get a bounce off of here, you're 11,000. You know, you might not even get filled at a couple thousand shares, but you get right here at 6,000. What if you're holding like 3,000 shares right here, half that? If you're even lucky to get filled. If it starts slamming down here, how in the world are you going to be dumping that when nobody wants it? It has to be liquid for you to get in and out pretty quickly. Highly liquid. Now we had to close below the 9 EMA, so we'll probably come on down. If you look at this, we're making right up in here. Yeah, it's just hard to play. You really want your A plus setup. DLC that popped up on RVOL, that was pretty nice. SUPX, see, SUPX showed up, but there's really nothing there. As you can see, there's nothing there. Yes, it does have news, but there's really nothing there. What else do we have? Nothing. We have nothing. 114,000 on BGLC. BGLC, they're just playing around with that. We got 8 minutes to the open. Got 8 minutes to the open. Open up trading view. Let's see what trading view scan has. Low floaters, I think. Yeah. Pre-market. Yeah, SUPX. That's up there. But BGLC is not here. Let's pre-market list. Floaters. Probably nothing there. Anything running on the pre-market? Nothing here. Put a little like trading view right here and kind of put it off to the side. Kind of look at we know that BGLC will probably want to take a look at BGLC, SGD. Take a look at that. SGD, YSFD. Nothing there. DKY. What you do is you just come over here and you get yourself about 4 charts. And when the market opens, you can look at the plays there for 5 minutes. 5 minutes. 5 minutes. Got 9:25, about 5 minutes. The market will open. Market opens, I'll probably more just uh, low floaters and top gainers. All right, we got a few minutes for the market to open. SGD is just kind of off on the 5 minute. If we look at SGD, that's just kind of dumping a little bit below the session VWAP. GLC could be, that could be in play this morning. But we really don't know. The market could open up and they could just dump it and just sell it off. We have no idea. Or it could be running. So we kind of have to be nimble and what's going to happen. Really, there is nothing that's really got BGLC, SUPX. Let's try SUPX, SUPX. I'm not going to do there's really nothing else. Market's going to open up soon. Market's going to open up in about 30 seconds. So I'm just going to take top press releases, take that out. I'm going to take pre-market. I'm going to put the low floaters up here. And then I'm going to put the top traded up here. Top traded, low floaters and top traded. I'm going to take this out. Pre-market. I'm going to put low floaters up there. Then I'm going to put the R vol down here. RVol down here. Traded right there. That. Go. I updated some code on the server. Why yesterday's is showing up. So the market is open and then open. It's going to take a while for this to populate. As usual, the RVol movers, there's going to be a bunch of crap in there. Just because there's high volume coming in. The market opens up, high volume coming in, so the RVol will be updated. Okay, we got SUPX and we got 12%. SUPX, we got BGLC. SUPX is under the VWAP. We have SGD that gaining. We got BGLC, looks like it could be dumping. SRPT on the top traded. FUBU on top traded. We got SGD that looks like it's popping. Got RVol mover of AIRE. There's nothing there. SGBX. GBX. Nothing there. SGD. SUPX. SUPX. There's nothing there. Got FUBO. It's like 3 million. Nothing there. FUB, SRPT, ELWS. Low floaters, but there's no volume there. We have SUPX, ELWS, ELC, ELWS. I'm going to update that on my other SUPXs. Have JWEL. WEL is back to SPY. The SPY is dumping a little bit. ELWS is not really. ELWS, low floater, 19%. LWS. Alrighty. ELWS. Really no volume there. That's the problem. SGD just huge top and tail. SUPX selling off. SPY bounced. ELWS is nothing there. SUPX. Nothing there. SRPT. Bounce off the 9 EMA. Got yourself a quarter off of that bounce. That's about it. Maybe sold off here, bounced. I don't even know. Really wasn't looking at it, but playing the second bounce at 1840 and and you got some green, you can go ahead and make sure you lock that in. That's on SRPT, top traded gainer. We got a float of 93 million on there. All right, we got low floaters. BGLC news. Yes, we know that. BGLC. Here, let's put the BGLC up there. Then we got RCKY. Not really doing anything. LWS. Probably not doing. Top traded. Let's come up here. Rappel is top traded. BLC top traded. RBL. SRPT. What I do is I just take top traded, take the top 4. We got some news on there. Then I just put it off to another 5-minute time right there. And then I just keep an eye on it. BGLC, we're having a break of the BGLC, and you're having a break of the 5-minute. So right here at 8:20, right here at 8:20, you had a break of that. It looks like it has been halted though, so that could be a problem. Normally it will move back up. When they get halted to the upside like this, what will happen is it open up. Might be able to get a $9 on that, but that's it's a little scary when you're in the halt. You don't know what's going to happen. SRPT, BGLC got halted. SRPT is just bouncing off the VWAP. Of SRPT. We have a high of 1924, low of 1751. If you played off the bounce of that EMA, let's say you got in 1850, definitely got yourself 50-cent move on that, but easily get yourself a quarter off of that. Scalp that off for a quarter. DLC got halted. Look at MRVL. I'll be glad when I get MRVL. We had a pop up here. We had a move up here. We have a bounce off the 9 EMA. So if you get at 84 or 22, you got a break of that. Look at the level 2. Definitely got yourself 25 cents. You can scalp off of it. Move to a break even, which I'd be looking to do. If that was me, I'd probably looking to sell another 25% and then hold 50% and see if we can get the pop to 85. That is with Marvel MRVL. Top traded is going to be low floats and high floats. As you can see here, BGLC low floater. REPL Rappel is 63 million. That's definitely not a low float. 857 million. Marvel, definitely not a low float. That's what we're looking at now is Marvel. So, I mean, if you got the capital to trade that, that's good. 328 million. If you get, that's not a low floater. So, nothing. BGLC. GLC. We should be coming out of the halt pretty soon. We're at 4 minutes. About 5 minutes, we'll be coming out of that. MRVL. Looking at. Yeah, I'd be looking to cut it. All right, you got yourself 20 that and be done with. See what I'm talking about? DLC, not really getting any. DLC is coming out of the halt soon. REPL is kind of selling. SRPT, huge spike. SRPT, earnings review. Yeah. SRPT is earnings. That came out of the halt. That you had to be quick with that. This is why when you're in a trade, you need to know what the halt levels are so you can get out. Stuff like this can happen to you. Be down 50 cents. BGLC. MRVL is definitely selling off. MRVL is definitely selling off. BGLC is kind of weak. MRVL. We were looking at that. Bounce off the non-EMA. You had a nice little spike. Bounce off the non-EMA. If you got that 84 and a quarter, you can get out at 85.50 and then move to a break even. Because now look at it, it slammed down. Got repel. BGLC is the top gainer. ATNF. ATNF is pretty decent, I guess. 100,000 volume. F, no catalyst on that. DLC. DLC. If you were holding that, you definitely want to be rethinking your situation. Lock in profits, take a little bit, lock it in. When the market opens up, you can move to a break even with a hotkey. That's what I'm going to be doing for light speed when I'm doing plays like this. When I'm doing plays like this, get in on the break of that 840 and get a spike and sell half, and then hit like shift B for break even, and then it'll put it your average, so you can be break even. It's all about protecting your capital. Got to protect that capital to keep trading. SRPT is just selling off. Oh, V-Wave showed up again. Oh, SRPT. Yeah, SRPT is selling off. MRVO, I got a little bit of a bounce on that. REPL is definitely in the tanker. EGLC. ETNF is still got decent volume. ELWS showed up earlier, but that's not good volume right. Just not good volume. ATNF. Problem with that is it had a little bit of volume, it had a spike, it had an inside bar. Didn't really break that low of that, and you could have got in at 363, 373, take a little bit off and take the rest of it off there. A little bit of volume. That was ATNF up here. BGLC is kind of flatlining. Yeah. BFC, nothing really there. So that's BGLC is selling off. So if you were in that halt, you were not quick enough to get here and you got slammed down. If you didn't cut it and you got up here, you definitely, if you're red and you're green, you might want to rethink your situation, because then you can be red again like now. There's volume coming in, that's for sure. They're definitely pushing it. It's the highest volume one we got. BGLC, yeah. Top traded. MRVL is the MRVL. 5 minutes looks like we're getting a bounce. RVL. Yeah, it's 857 million float. It's not going to run too far. Going to be as volatile as the low floaters. SRPT got 93 million float, and that is just dumping. Look at the 5 minute, that is just crash. EGLC is the leader for, look at that, for EPL. Top traded doesn't mean it's going to winner. It means there's high volume. Look at the low floats up here. There's really nothing up here. LAWR, it's not, nothing there. EGLC is like the only one, and that's even not looking good. So possibly it's a good day just to shut it down and move on. EGLC is early morning trades, and now it's FOMC meeting day. You just sit on your hands. Ball wave. It was halted, came out of the halt. REPL. B wave is Yo is thing. SRP's not got REPL. It's pinning on the 5-minute EMA and VWAP. It's just pinning there. We have a 6:15. We have a break 6:15, but it looks like 6:15, 17. We got 1% spread. Really not doing much. I mean, if you played this to try to get the break of that, do is you get in and we have volume coming in right here, as you can see. Get in on the break of that and put your stop down here, because this right here, that will wick down, small wick down, didn't even break half of that candle. Then 6:15, 6:23, try to get a little bit of scalp and then move. And once you sell some, do shift B to go to a break even, then you would have gotten stopped out of break even. But it's better than getting a full stop out like right now. You know, all this 1-for-1, 2-to-1, 3-to-1 stuff that these gurus talk about on YouTube, when are they showing you live data trading? They're not. It's just a bunch of crap. Can you get their 2-to-1, 3-to-1s? Sure. But when you're scalping the way I am, I read the market as it's happening. I don't, if I'm up, let's say my 1-to-1 is 25 cents. Like 10, and let's say the market, it can't break, it's not moving, and I'm only getting like 10, 15 cents, I'll sell half. And if it starts coming back down, it's weak, come down to my entry point, I get out. You can always get back in. The commissions are so low, you can always get back in. That's the thing. You can always get back in. But I really wouldn't play this just because it was pinning. It's pinning right there on the VWAP and EMA. Just pinning. Plus we have this nice big down move right here. And you're trying to get a break. Maybe if it breaks up here and then it pulls back like right here, you probably try to get like an ABC pattern. ABC pattern. Try to get away from that 5-minute pinning. When I mean pinning, it means the VWAP and the EMA are pinning together. Like right here, they're separated. Right here, they're separated. Right up in here, they're like right on top of each other. So we've got MRVL that's not really doing any. REPL that we're looking at, not doing much. PLC is just not making higher highs, higher lows. You have REPL in a 1 minute that looks like it is trying to make the lows right here. We have a low right here. We have a high. It kind of broke the high, but we're just waiting for it to decide what it wants to do. And right now it doesn't know what it wants to. Right now it's just riding the non-EMA and deciding if it wants to break or run. And can play the run up here, REPL. I don't know what the ATR is 16 cents. So if you got in right here on the bounce of non-EMA, you're looking at a 16-cent stop. So you're looking at about right down in here. So got in on the bounce there at 605. 6 would be 10, 595. It'd probably be down here, 590. Okay. Then you get on the bounce of that. It came right up here. You probably want to be selling about a quarter of it. And it did not get to the to the entry point down here. And now you're up like a quarter probably. The bid is really trying to push it, but 630, yeah, small little penny bounce. REPL is probably the only decent one. You got MRVL that's kind of running, trying to break the previous 5-minute high. So you had a big candle right here. Your entry's down in here. You take about a quarter to 50% off there. It kind of broke the high right there. Previous 5-minute, but it's really not doing much. It's just riding the non-EMA, and you can sit there and ride the non-EMA because your entry point is down here. Ride that non-EMA. Kind of had a little consolidation up there, so you might want to sell a quarter. Pop, sell another quarter. So you're holding half your position right here. This is what you're looking for. You're in a nice trade. You already booked some profits. You can always go back down to a break even, which you got room. You got 30-cent room to work with, or 25% room to work with. If it starts trading down below here, you can probably down. If it starts breaking the non-EMA, dump another 25%. You'll have 25% left. So, yeah, just like it kind of spiked down, but just sit there and wait. Get to 614 here on level 2, you might want to go on another 25-50%. Look at that 614. Got the bids pushing 624. See if you break 635, you get it to 635, you could possibly run. That's what you're looking for. 614, we want to start cutting. Want to sell a little bit, sell a little bit. Yep, it's getting to 6. Yeah, so we kind of closed below the EMA, so dump about half your position that you're holding. Hold slightly more. Because we are kind of putting it there. Had a nice run up. Look at that. You got 619,000, but 620, 1,500, 2,800. We're at 618. So if you start breaking 6, your entry is probably around 605. Okay, 625. We got a little push 3,700 is 24. You're looking to break. You're looking to break 635, 633, 634, 30. So you're looking down in here as well for like 635, 636. There's no large orders. At 9 to 638, you got like 900. 35 at 36, but Got a 15-cent ATR, so it's going down. Either goes up or it goes down. XPB. Yeah, REPL probably could be cut. You'll see XPB. This little volume right there. Showed up on the R body. Yeah. So that's pretty decent. And if you were looking at XPB, I don't know if it was on the scanner. XPB. Take a look at X here. BP, XBP. Put that on the list. Have a break right there. Yep. Micro pullback. Get on 205. You're at 230. So yeah, you got yourself a nice little scalp right there. Yeah, you're at a million shares. So yeah, that's what you're looking for. You showed up on RVol scanner. Kind of missed this move right here, but that's fine. You got a micro pullback, so you get in right there and put your stop down by there. Got in at 207, you got up to 203, so 227. You got yourself a nice little quarter, maybe 10, 20 cents out of that deal. Shift B down to break even. You got a hotkey of Shift B for break even. You can do this is how I have like Shift H for sell half. Shift F to get out on your full. Shift C to cancel, Shift B to break even. So I could do Shift H to sell half, and then Shift B to move a stop to a break even with light speed. That's really nice. I'm gonna show people how I have my stuff set up. I need to put out a video and show you how I have it set up. Let's put X. That was a decent trade. BGLC we can go over. LC we can go over get some of the X up on RVol. RVol right around o'clock, I think. On 10 o'clock. Then you could get in like right around 10:01, 10:02. You had to be quick. Then again, we have another little micro pullback here. What you'd like to see is the inside, what I call an inside micro pullback. You had the high right there, and then you had the low right there, okay? So the low was right here, and the high was right there on that candle, but this candle did not break. So when we have a run up and you have another little micro pullback there, the volume, as you can see here, is kind of moderate. You can get in on the break of 221 and it ran up to 232. So you can get like 10 cents and try to get yourself, maybe sell half and move to a break even. It's all about just getting the quick profits. I mean, even if you got 1,000 shares and you got 5 cents out of the deal, that's still $50. It just keeps adding up. It just adds up. Make maybe a couple hundred out of this one, $50 out of that. It just keeps adding up. Before you know it, you're making $500,000 in a day. That's what it's about. And if you look at this, you can even get in, let's take a look at this. We had a low right here, okay, and then broke the high of that. So what was the high of that? That was that 210. So right here at 210, we broke the high of this candle right here, and we ran up to 2.25. So 210, that's 15 cents. 15 cents may not sound a lot, but how many shares traded there? You're talking about 2.8 million. You're talking about 2.8 million shares. I mean, if you're getting in at 10,000 shares times 15 cents is like $1,500. I mean, 10,000 shares times a $2 stock is $20,000. Uh, if you're day trading and you're in the PDT role, you have that. So yeah, that's 5, 10, 15 cents may not sound a lot, but wow, does it add up? XBP, now it showed up right here. We have news at 9 a.m. Then they started running with it. Now look at it, BGLC, they just kind of dumped that bad boy. And who did they move on to? They moved on to XBP that showed up on our RVOL scanner. Look at that bad boy right there. I can higher highs, higher lows. How far are they going to run it? It's 136% from the open, so who knows? They could run that dude up to 500%. We have no idea, and I do not care how much they move it up. Who cares? Got a little scalp right there. Scalp right there. It pulled back to the non-EMA up in this area. Get on 210. It's up about 5-10 cents out of that scalp. Adds up. It all adds up. But you got to have a broker that's really, really quick on the executions, and Lightspeed is amazing. On Lightspeed, I'm going to be using the NSDQ to NASDAQ route. You got a spread of 1 to 2 cents. But I usually set an offset. We're getting ready to break the high, which we just did, 241, and it just keeps pushing. Oh, as you can see here, we had a pullback right here, a little spike. We had a little micro pullback right here. Get in at 232, stops at 220, 32, 12 cents, 33. Just get a little quick scalps. See if it can move. But if you're down in here, got in the original position down here, took some profits up here, and you're still holding like 25%, half of it right here. That's good. See how far it can run. You have yourself a little runner, maybe 25, 50% of your shares you have run. And that definitely works out, because when you get stopped out, these 25, 50% runs that you're holding, 25, 50%, and you get run and you sell a quarter and you're still holding 25% of your original position, and you get a nice little runner. Yeah, that will definitely help out. That's a huge spike. That's hard to get in at. That was a huge spike. We're putting in some topping tails on the 1 minute. Look at the 5 minute. We got a little topping tail right here forming because of this right here. A little topping tails showing me that they're trying to pop it, but they're either taking profits or sellers are coming in. Got the shorts maybe trying to pile onto it. Who knows? I don't short these low floaters. Got 10 million float. We've traded 35 million. It round trip 3 times. So yeah, I don't do that. the SPY doing? Yeah, this could be a bounce off the 9 EMA, but we got some wicks up here. Volume kicking in. We had the volume on that one right there, and we had a pullback and it still ran. But the original play, of course, we had a spike up, it got halted, and then we kind of ran back up, showed up on the RVol scanner. Original trade was right here with the stop of the low right there. Got yourself a trade. Fell for the pullback, and then once you get a break of this, you can add to the position. Cost average probably be down in price sell on the tops right here. PGLC, that's not really doing anything. XBP and ATR is 17%. Seems like it's kind of tightening up. X ATR of 79. That's like it's moving a little bit. X. Yep. If you were looking at SUPX, if you were looking, yep, and it was on our list. There you go. SUPX got halted. Pulled up, had a little micro pullback. We had probably got stopped out right there. But what you want to do is you want to look at the 5 minutes. We have the higher highs, higher lows right there. This right here, this pullback is probably more than 50% of that. So if you're looking at the breaks, if you want to get the high breaks on 5 minutes, look right here. And then the pullback was like right in here. So when it breaks right here, your stop could be like right in there. And you're looking at 2031, 2092, looking, yeah, so it popped on, got released from, so when it popped, it ran. I saw a run. So that was at $21 hold mark right there at $21 hold mark, which is right there. I like looking at a 5 minute, and when it doesn't come back down more than half of that and just kind of wicks down, a little tiny wick right there, you can get in on a break of that. Then right here you can get in on a break of that as well, but that really didn't move dollars. It really didn't. That was right up in here. Probably get on the break right there and put your stop right down there because they'll be trading below the 9 EMA. You really want to find something that's strength, and that definitely has strength at higher highs, higher lows. XBP, got SUPX, got halted and then it popped. I want to look at this candle here because we had a pullback, bullish engulfing right there. Once it broke into the VWAP, started making higher highs and higher lows right here. Then it started riding the 9 EMA on a 5 minute. That's what you want to start looking at, is the break right here. You want to be looking at a 5 minute overall, and then do your entries on a XBP just kind of BP. As you can see here, we broke we rode the non-EMA all the way up, SUPX, RVOL. We kind of rode the non-EMA, and then as you can see here, we broke it. So that's the run probably over. But if you got in here and you got yourself a little scalp there, got in a little pullback here, maybe get in off the bounce off the non-EMA, get out right here, get a little scalp. Had a micro pullback right there. You could have played the break of the high, put your stop down there. SUPX has a ATR is 74 cents. That's pretty good. We got news 6:30 a.m. I mean, yeah. XBP, got news, DLC. Got LMFA. There's nothing there. Well, pretty much done. So XBP is looking good. That was looking good for a nice trade. BGLC and XBP. XBP, if you look at the 5 minutes breaking down, as you can see here, here, let me clear this out. As you can see here, we're making higher highs, higher lows. But if you look at this right here, that right there, and this right here, we're not making higher highs. We're making lower highs and lower lows now. So the run could be over, or it could just be a 5-minute pullback and then a break. We do not know. All we know is we want to keep it simple. Do not clutter, I do not clutter my screen with a bunch of crap indicators. I don't do that ICT trading, fair value gap, Fibonacci retracement. I don't do none of that. Let's keep it simple. Read the price action, read the candles. It's telling a story. The story that's telling me is that we're having a pullback right now. We're not. Volume is kind of drying up a little bit. That's the story that's telling me, and plus telling me that it's broke the VWAP, trading down to the non-EMA on a 5-minute. Of course, we're sloping down 1 minute, and we're below the non-EMA. So would I be looking for a scalp to the long side? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. You are not going to get this move from here to here. You're not going to get like a dollar move. Want to get is like maybe 10 cent, 10, 15 cents here, 10 cents there, maybe get yourself 25 cents and go in with volume. And what are you going to do? Get in here and put your stop down here. No way you're going to go in 1,000 shares, 10,000 shares right there. But getting in here and putting the stop here, yeah, you could probably get in 1,000, 10,000 shares. So yeah, that's what you're looking for. Quick trades, and you're looking for base hits. You're not looking for this huge home run. No, you get base hit, base hit. Get 2 base hits, and you get yourself. It adds up to a score. Like That's what you're looking for. All right, we got to bounce off the 9 EMA. Still, I would not play that. We got SPY. The SPY is doing pretty decent. The SPY, take a look at the SPY. SPY's, I bet you we're just going to dry up on volume because at 2:30 you got the at 2:30 you got the FOMC coming out. You got Jerome Powell shooting his mouth off. Who knows what's going to, more than likely he's just going to stay the same because that's what the data's telling us. I mean, mortgage rates are kind of going to be high because they're going off of 10-year notes. I mean, this is whatever. What the TQQs, triple Qs, triple Q. Yeah, triple Qs. Look at that. I mean, how can you trade that? Wick. Wick down, wick up, wick, 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 wick. Wicks all around. Wicks right there. That's really the only candle that's pretty solid. Get in. Get in on the break of that candle. There's your stop right down there. Oh, if you're looking at that, looking at a high of, was it 89.87? So 89.87 would probably right up in here, 89.87. Yeah, right there. So you get in on the break of that and 88. Can you get 98? Get yourself 10 cents out of that. Yeah, can you get to 9? Get to 90? We get to 90. Yeah, we got some bids coming there. We might be able to push the 90. Got the volume. Look at the volume. Look at the red candle volume. Look at the green volume. So we are pushing the 90. So yep, we got 90 on the ask. Okay. So what you can do is you can get in on the break of 89, 89. Get yourself about 10 cents on that trade. Sell half. Move to a break even. See if we can run triple Qs. I mean, hey, you might want to play a $90 ETF. Who knows? If you do, how you do it. Trading plan is very simple. Very simple. I don't have 20 indicators clogging up so I can't even see the candlesticks, and I try to trade off the lagging indicators. You're looking out the windshield, which is right here on your level 2, and you're looking at the side view mirrors, which this is your left side view mirror. This is your right side view. Look out the windshield. Look out the windshield. So if you got in right there, you can put a stop right down there. Got yourself a pop, but you got to think about this right here. You got to think about that right there. Are you going to shoot for 917? Who knows? Probably right up in here. Probably sell about 25%. Got sell about 25%. Comes down here, about sell about another 25%. About you're out half your position. Still in the green because you got in down here. Got yourself a little move. Gift on Arval. Give us a gift. Give us a gift for a trade. Gift me a little money. Doubt it. No, absolutely not. Look at the wicks on the 1 minute. Wicks. Look at that wick. Look at that wick. Look at that wick. Look at this. Yeah, it's making higher highs, higher highs, higher lows. Yeah, sure. But not enough volume. There's no volume. No volume. 109,000. Nope. Not going to play it. Why would you do that when you got so much more play? You got the TQQs that we just played. That's more volume than you'll ever need. You got more volume than ever. You got 400,000. think you're going to do 1,000 shares and get $90,000 value trade? Yeah, who knows? We're pulling back down to the EMA. Are we going to get a bounce of the EMA? Well, you got to look at the volume kicking in. Who knows? I would not be looking to scalp that because it's an ETF and got resistance right up in here. Look at this. We got resistance right up in here, right up against it. You don't want to be taking longs up here. Most people buy up here and then get stopped out down here and they lose money. Wonder why they're not a profitable trader. Can it run, pop and run? Absolutely. Who cares? Move on. Find something else. SUPX. Had a little pullback on the 5-minute. PX. See here, it got halted, popped. Got a little pullback on the 5-minute. It's not telling me anything, really. What the 5-minute is telling me on those selling is that you got huge volume. You got huge volume right there. Look at the volume on the 5-minute. Humongous. I wouldn't be doing it, but hey. Could you get a break of 27, run up here to 28.5? Sure. But that's a little too much volume on the 5-minute to the downside. Getting the bounce off of the EMA. Yeah. SGD, there's probably nothing there. SGD, 260,000 SGD. Yeah, there's absolutely nothing there. At SUPX. Nothing there. BGLC, how's that doing? Ain't doing too. Got GEM at 30 GEM, JEM. No. Not enough volume. Not enough volume. What are we looking at? What are we looking at? 52,000 volume on Archon. Archon on 52,000 volume. Not much there. Not much there at all. Got here. This heat roll has triggered the related exchange of short sale restriction. Goki. Goki. But top traded gainers, you got some volume in Propel, BGLC, MRVL. All these are good volume. If you're looking for volume, V-Wave showed up earlier. V-Wave, making a little wave right here. How you like that humor? You like it? I know you. Yeah, the 5-minute's kind of hard to tell. You had a little inside bar right there. You could have gotten break 1020, B1020. Maybe you get on the break. Where's the 10? Right here, 10. Yeah, it just really not much. Just hard. You want to, if this candle here made a higher high, yeah, that would be good. But it's not. XBP, BP, XBP. We had a break of that right there. We had a pullback and we had a little inside bar on the 5-minute. That's pretty nice. I like the inside bars. That break of $2, so you got yourself a little move. What's the high of that? 197. So 197. When was that? Starting at 1025. 197. Right there. 197. $2. Got yourself by a quarter move. Yeah. You can probably scalp a little bit. And the problem is that wick right there, kind of this right here, that wick on this candle right here, if it was right here, that would be fine, but it's pretty close to the low. But yeah, it bounced off, so it's strong. I just don't like that. That's not in the playbook. The wick has to be probably about right here. about half of that candle. Got a little bit more than half, so I really don't like that. But did it bounce? Yeah, it bounced a quarter. I mean, what would the stop be? Stop's like 20-cent stop. Yeah, 1-for-1 trade. Got the SPY moving, so the TQQs are going to be moving. QQs are going to be moving. Yeah. Got a little inside bar right there. Could be looking for a break, then the break of high day break, which is right up here at 916. Get in 908. I mean, where's your stop down here? So yeah, let's look at the level 2. I need a break of 9017, so 17. Got 18s, got 19s. It's breaking. Come on, come on. Doesn't look like it wants to break. Put in a little tail, so it's projection. Let's see what we got here. We got no volume, 101,000 volume, DPRO. I don't think I had news earlier, DPRO. Had news earlier, DPRO, but it's 12. Yeah, I mean, breaking that consolidation right there, but it's not telling me much. This right here is not telling me much. Volume was kicked in there, but yeah, you're like pinning. You're pinning right there on the VWAP and the EMA. But a break of that, right here at 8 o'clock, had the algos kicking in. And you got a break of 513, had a 520. I mean, it's just hard to play. And it's bullish. You're above the EMA. You're above the VWAP. Play the break of 513, which was right there. Break of that 513 right there. What you can do is look for at 511. We had volume kicking in, so you probably want to get in here. What the relative volume was at DPRO at 4 cents to 511. See 10. Maybe you could probably just go in half of that candle. I don't know. But we had volume. I mean, $0.06, 4-cent stop. So yeah, I mean, you got 512 and it ran up to 518. That's 6 cents. You definitely got a 1-for-1 if that's what you play. I mean, yeah, that's a quick scalp. I mean, got 87,000 volume. You can get yourself in out pretty quickly, trading like 1,000 shares. But then again, you know, if you're trading like 10, 20, 50,000 shares like Ross Cameron, I don't think that's going to. The amount of shares that man trades, you need some high liquid stocks pushing the kind of trades that he does. I'm a small fish. Make a very good living with $500 to $1,000 a day. $500 a day, you're in six figures. You're not happy with that, something's wrong with you. As a software engineer, I was making six figures and up, and I was very happy. Well, I'm still happy, but yeah. I mean, I went from making minimum wage to pushing myself up to a six figures. Software engineer is pretty decent. I got lucky and got in on some good government contracts early in my career. Our first government contract was working with Homeland Security, which was fantastic. I was a junior. They gave me a shot. I passed. I just launched my government contract career. We have Wentz. There's nothing there. So we got 200 DPRO. I mean, DPRO is still, we got DPRO with news here. You know, I don't know what I should do because sometimes these trades right here is 13%. Got some nice volume coming in on a 1 minute. 43,000, 72,000, 55,000. So it's traded 6 million shares and we got a float of 5 million. So it's already round tripped once. You know, that's, I could filter by the volume. I could filter by a high percentage, and then the second filter could be the highest volume and filter it that way. Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna have to take a look at how I want to do this. PII. I just don't get that. 20 low volume, Archon low volume, got YYGH 50,000 volume, got YYGH. Nothing there. It got halted. Nothing there. Nothing. How in the hell can you trade that? RO, DLC. Let's run through SUPX. SUPX got halted. We gotta pop to the upside. That's pretty nice. That's pretty nice. Got BGLC. That's just got PII. That's doing nothing. That's option. PII. That's nothing there. DIC. There's no volume. There's not going to be. We got FOMC meet. I think it's done for today. I think I'm going to call it quits because there's nothing happening. Made a little money. Done for today. I will be back at it 7 a.m. tomorrow. I will talk to you later. Make sure you download the scanner. It's in beta. It's free. Go ahead and download it. I'll be back at it again tomorrow morning, 7 a.m.